In this video, we're going to talk about tables and charts. Many of the things that you're going to see on the SAT and some of these other tests like this, the ACT, PSAT, is they're going to give you data, some kind of data, and I'll zoom in on this picture here in a second. They're going to give you data and they want you to interpret what you see. First and foremost, write this down, always read, number one, the title of the graph or table or chart. Always read the title. Know what you're going to be reading about. Sometimes the title will tell you something about that information. I've seen more than one test where you will go along and they'll ask you some abstract piece of information. You've read all the data, you've read the paragraphs and don't know what it is, but it's written in the title. So make sure you read the title. Also, if there's X and Y axes, read what the units are. That's going to be important. Let me show you what I mean, for example. I'm going to zoom in here for a second. Okay, so here's a table that's talking about ticket costs and what year some tickets at a local cinema from 1991 to 1996. Let me slide that back, I'm sorry. And so you're reading it. Okay, so there's year and ticket costs. So what about something like this? And we'll come back to this graph here in a minute, but notice this. It says this line graph is the number of home runs hit by Babe Ruth and Hank Aaron over a 17-year stretch. Okay, well, it tells me which line is which. There is a little piece of information there. It tells me what year. Does it say, is that 1901? It says no, it says it's a 17-year stretch. So that's not years like 1901 or 1921, anything like that. It's counting years, and then it says the number of home runs over here on the left axis. Then you have something like this. Here's a graph. The graph shows the monthly profits over 1 year period for a manufacturing company. Profit, in parentheses, thousands of dollars. So where that 9 is, that's $9,000 profit. Where the 18, that's $18,000. It's not written as 18,000, but it tells you. It tells you what month. So you have a really good idea of what's going on. Always read the title and always read the axes. So let's go back to this first one real quick. Just looking at a table, can we answer a couple of questions? If the above price trend continues, what would you predict the cost of an adult ticket in 1997? First of all, there is no 1997 on the chart. So they're going to give you that data and you've got to interpret some things. So let's see, from here to here, 450 to 525, that's 75 cents. 525 to here is 75 cents. Looks like a trend. 6 to 650 is 50 cents. So that's 275s of 50, and that goes up 25. So 50, 25, I can make a good guess that might be 25 or slightly less. A good guess, I would look for an answer on multiple choice of around $7.50, or maybe a little less. You can make that deduction from what they gave you. Second, what might the price of an adult admission ticket have been in 1990? Well, if I look in the other direction, that was losing 50 cents, losing 50 cents, losing 75, losing 75. Well, that might be $1. So I'm going to look at the answers they give me and look for something around 350 or slightly higher. I can make a deduction based on what they gave me. I'm looking for a pattern or looking for a trend. What's the general trend in price increases shown in this period? Well, prices are going up every year. They may not go up the same amount. Matter of fact, the amount that they are going up decreases. That was 75 cents, 75 cents, 50 cents, 50 cents, 25 cents, but it's still going up every single year. Looking at data and interpreting it. Here's another one real quick. Suppose a bacterial culture growing in the laboratory yields the following data. It has a population of 1 at 10 a.m. and an hour later it's a population of 4. And then so that multiplies, looks like multiplied times 4. 11 a.m. to noon, that's another hour. 4 times 4 is 16. Okay, that's following the pattern. Noon to that is 16 times 4, 64. Yes, it is. Every hour, it's multiplying by 4. What do you expect the size at 2 p.m.? Then I would take my handy dandy calculator 64 times 4 equals, answer, 256. That's what I'm looking for as my answer. Got to be the answer following the trend. What would be the population? When would it pass or surpass 1,000? Well, just check your math real quick. What's 256 times 4? That's at 1,000. It's going to be, if this was 2 p.m., it's going to be before, since that's 1,024 right there, it's going to be before 3 p.m. So I'm going to look at a time before 3 p.m. And so you can do some things with the information they give you. Okay? I'm going to give you a chance to pause the video and just look at the wind speeds and wind chills that go with that following. And you can just walk through a couple of questions. There's a couple of trends that you can see on this. When if I start at 50 degrees and have a 5 mile an hour wind, the temperature drops 2 degrees. If I go up 5 more miles an hour, it drops 8 degrees. The higher the wind, the further it drops. I can look for trends based on the data. You're not going to get a chart like this on the test. You're not going to get a chart that looks like this on the test. The idea you're going to see is they're going to give you a table or a chart or a graph or something like that, and you have to interpret based on what you see. So when you look at something like what would you expect the wind chill temperature to be when the air temperature is 0 degrees and 5 miles an hour? Well, it's dropping every 10 degrees. Okay, so 0 is going to be the next column they didn't give me. What do I see? Well, at 5, if I'm going from here, that dropped 11 degrees. That dropped 10 degrees. 37 to 27 is 10. That dropped 9 degrees. That dropped 10 degrees. So what is that going to be? That's going to be probably a negative answer. I would find my multiple choice answers and find something that's negative. It's going to drop about 10. It's going to be around negative 4 degrees Celsius. That's going to be a good guess based on the data that I see. And so you've got to be able to take your time, look at what it says. Wind speed, that's the top. The temperatures at the top, the wind speeds down this side, and make deductions based on what you see. In the next video, I'm going to bring back those graphs that you saw, and we're going to see how much we can interpret from those graphs.